Okay, then, welcome back to our next story. You know, as the debate rages on about an agreeable national minimum wage, the third citizen and Senate President Godswill Akpabio, weighing in on the matter, says state governors no longer have an excuse to complain about payment of a new minimum wage if signed into law, you know. So according to him, this is based on improvements in revenues that accrue to them monthly. You should know this much. Well, all parties to the minimum wage negotiation, according to the Senate President, should abide by any agreement reached on the matter. Brother Sukwa.
Yeah, that's why they call it tripartite committee, you know. So it means we have people from the federal, the state, as well as private sector
and labor.
So they are there, you know. So, and when once, thankfully, I want to believe the president has seen whatever they brought there,
yeah,
you know, and hopefully the president in his wisdom is going to look at, they are going to also advise the president on an acceptable national minimum wage. If it's not going to be acceptable to the National Assembly, because I know the last one, the last minimum wage, I remember when they took it to the president, they took it to the National Assembly, they increased it. Okay, I think it was 27,000. They took 27,000 to the National Assembly, and the National Assembly increased it to 30,000. So,
and many states are still not paying that.
of course, you know. So we'll get to that point. You know, so at this one, we are also looking at something that will be, you know, sustainable, because there is no point, you know, putting a national minimum, putting a peg of a national minimum wage, and some states cannot pay. But thankfully, we are getting somebody who was once a governor. Now telling us that from what the state governors are getting today, okay, they can pay a national minimum wage with even their so-called workforce, with the entire workforce that they have. Because I was looking at the fact of May, both the federal government and the state government and local government are going to share about 1.14 trillion naira. And the state governors, the states, all the states, will be sharing about 388.19 billion naira. Now, this is outside the 13% derivation that's for oil producing, states. Yes. Yeah. As well as the ecological funds, as well as the VAT, the one they are collecting from us when we send text message, EMTL and all that. Yes. You know, those small monies. So it means that
stamp duty.
Yes, stamp duty and all that. So there are so many things that the states are getting money from. The
IGR too.
You know, plus the IGR. So state governors cannot tell us that they cannot pay national minimum. I think that is where Akpabio is coming from, because he has seen all these things. And for crying out loud, since the removal of fuel subsidy, the FAC has been going up. The money state governors have been getting has been going up. It has been increasing. There was a time it was even 2 trillion.
It begs the question of where is the
coming from? Now the problem is, it lies with the state governor. There was even a time, I don't know, I think last month or 2 months ago, where Mr. President was saying, even castigating the state governors, that they have to start doing things that would also reduce the pain that Nigerians are going through.
Yeah.
Because everybody is just saying it's the federal government. Well, the state governors are also getting money. What are they doing with it? You know? So at this point, for the president of the Senate to say that the state governors will have to pay this national minimum wage, no matter what. We are not talking about 30,000 this time, because I'm not sure that if Mr. President will say it will give something lesser than 30 or at 30,000. It will be increased.
Emeka, when the last time Edo State Governor, Governor Obaseki, said in his state they are paying 70,000. You know, the bystander is wondering, where is the extra 40,000 coming from?
Yeah, the governor said the state had been making savings, you know, that according to him recently. He said the state, you know, that they, you know, saw that things, you know, were going in a certain direction in the country, and so they started making savings towards improving the minimum, the minimum wage payable in the state.
Yeah.
I also remember that when Willie Obiano was governor of Anambra State at the time, he made some, you know, he added some things to the salaries of workers in the state. So
Means it is possible
it
to
is,
add.
it is very possible.
It's possible.
So these governors can cut down on their security votes, even if they don't want to eliminate them, for reasons best known to them. If they can cut down on their security votes, if they can cut down, you know, if we can have responsible
cut
fiscal
down
governance
on overheads that are not
yes, on
necessary.
overheads, and you know, stop the wastage. Because you go to MDAs in the state, you see a lot of abandoned vehicles, you know, air conditioners and all that.
Have you added the so-called, well, is it so-called ghost workers?
No, who brings those ghost workers? You see, the issue about
brings the ghost?
Who brings the ghost? Who brings the ghost? Because every governor,
The ghost master.
every departing governor, on the eve of their departure, they bring in workers. We've seen the one in Rivers State now, 10,000, that Governor Sim Fubara says he has cancelled. So it's like that in every state. You find people who just, you know, who are just, you can't really define what they are doing. You hear a governor say, okay, I'm going to appoint 3,000 aides. You are not, nobody is telling you when they were interviewed, what's their job certification, what is their background, what role, what are they going to do? Then by the time those governors are leaving, those people are, you know, they are fixed into
the civil service.
the civil service. Then the next government will say, oh, ghost workers, from where? How many times have we conducted audits in these countries, you know, auditing ghost workers, and still ghost workers keep appearing? Like somebody once said that, you know, when you say, you know, bad eggs, remove the bad eggs. What about the chicken that keeps laying those bad eggs? How come the chicken is so, you know, strong enough to keep laying the bad eggs? Then we must look at the source of those ghost workers. Then the governors have held on to local government allocations.
Yeah.
Go to the rural areas. That is where you have the worst poverty in the country.
Let me rub this in. Asokwa, you know that 21 states in Nigeria's 36 states don't have legally, democratically elected council officials.
Yes.
But they keep drawing allowances
Yes.
for those councils.
Yes,
councils.
exactly. So, like we are saying now, this fact. So, those 21 states that have caretaker chairmen and all that, it is whatever the governor feels he wants to give them. That is what he will give them. It's not this cash that is coming that is supposed to go direct. In fact, if it goes direct to their account, the governor will tell them there's a special account that they can wire that money. You understand? So, it's just. I don't know how we can solve this problem.
Yeah.
But I think it's high time we begin to insist. We just have to insist on all states having local government elections.
Yeah.
Because if we don't, we'll keep having this issue about, you know, state governors dipping their hands into local government funds.
Yeah.
We know there's Jack, you know, fine.
Account,
yes, the joint account.
Yeah.
But the thing is, time for local government to have their own account. Let them be autonomous by themselves, you know. And by the time they are there, they'll be able to take care of us. If you are saying that democracy is for, you know, for us to have a government that is closer to the people, you know, let us begin to know.
Underscore local government administration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so because if you every time we keep having this issue, there are some state governors, citizen. There are some state governors who, at local government level, The only thing they do is, at local governments, what they pay is they will pay their traditional rulers. They don't pay teachers, it's the state that will pay teachers. Then the local government will pay their councillors and their workers. And after that, the states would also insist that the local government does not even allocate, there is a particular fund you must not even sign as a local government chairman. You know, maybe you can't sign up to maybe 50 million or 100 million. And then the rest goes to the local government chairman's pocket.
Emeka, for now, the number 3 citizen and Senate president has given us a lead.
Yeah, but the lead is neither here nor there. Oh, because he said that governors can pay proposed. What is the proposed minimum wage? What is the proposed? Because the federal government has said 62,000. Edo State is paying 70,000. State governors are saying they can't pay even 62,000. So what is it? NLC, hey, let's even add it. NLC is the labor is saying the initial said 615,000.
They now dropped to 250.
They came down to 250. Then some people are saying no, come down to 100,000. So which of the figures is the Senate president talking about? We must be clear. We shouldn't be playing politics with figures. You know, okay, they can pay the minimum. What minimum wage? It should call a figure.
The Senate president is also telling you when the thing comes to us, they will deal with it and make it law.
Yeah.
So
I think that what the Senate president is even trying to say is trying to prepare the minds of the state governors, okay, that we know that you can pay this thing. So by the time we make it, hold on. By the time they make it, they sign it into law.
No.
They are going to sign.
The Senate president is also advising the tripartite group
yes,
to meet somewhere in the middle and stop keeping Nigerians waiting.
But the Minister of State for Labour says something has been sent to the president.
I feel the president of the Senate has seen what Mr. President has actually approved.
You know the interesting, the governors have not even brought up a figure. That's it. It's only Obaseki. Only Obaseki who has brought out 70,000. The governors are just saying we can't pay 62,000. Okay, how much can you pay? They've not even said it. So just playing politics, you know, with something that should be very simple.
But so I think that is where the Senate president has to put his foot down. Okay, the state governors must come with a figure, and that figure, the National Assembly has the right to increase the figure and not stay with the state governor, whatever figure the state governors will come with. Now that we know that the Senate president has said that they have the capacity to pay. So it means
underline that.
Yes,
they have the capacity.
Yes, they have the capacity to pay. The president of the Senate is saying it. So wait for the state governors to come with their figure. Then the president of the Senate will come to the floor of the House and say, okay, this is the figure that I feel will be convenient for everybody to pay.
All right, then.
Both the federal, the state, and the private sector. And then everybody moves on.
Well, the viewer must recall that what we do here is to mold opinion based on the facts available to us. So we allow the decision makers to play with whatever opinion we have dropped here. So let the debate continue in your part of town. But let's deal with the last but not the least story. You know, the fuel distribution